heads and close your eyes with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for bringing us all together. Thank you for making this possible. We're just so grateful for music, for history, and for culture, Lord. And thank you for bringing us this far and for continuing to take us to the future as well. Bless those who are on their way. Bless those who are performing and all those who are that have helped to make this program possible. Help it to go well. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. Once again, I'd just like to welcome you guys all to the showcase that we have today for music and poetry, given to us by Art and Soul and from Malik Mayne. Enjoy.
Of course you have faced the dilemma. It is announced. They all smirk and rise. If they are ultra, they remove their hats and look ecstatic. Then they look at you. What shall you do? Noblesse oblige, you cannot be boorish or ungracious. And after all, it is your country, and you do love its ideals, if not all of its realities. Now then, I have thought of a way out. Arise, gracefully remove your hat, and tilt your head. Then sing as follows, powerfully and with deep unction. They'll hardly note the little changes, and their feelings and your conscience will thus be saved. You can find W.E.B. DuBois' alternate text for this well-known song in your programs. I would like you to play those in your mind as Joel plays them on the piano. I would like to reiterate, thank you all for coming out and taking the time to spend it here. Why are we here? Well, short answer to that is easy. It's Black History Month, ironically also the shortest month of the year, and a program about Negro spirituals probably wouldn't have gotten that much attention at any other time. But as you may have guessed, there is a deeper reason. Spirituals deserve to be remembered just as much as the words of any of our greats like W.E.B. Du Bois, Malcolm X, or Martin Luther King. Perhaps even more so. They are an integral part of our history, and they deserve to be remembered. Most of you have heard of spirituals or heard them, and if you haven't, you've probably heard them under some other name like a hymn. But Negro spirituals were work songs sung by slaves while they were working in the fields, ostensibly for the purpose of helping them work, and that is why the slave masters allowed them to be sung. However, they had a deeper purpose. The most shallow of these was to preserve Bible texts. So you have Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. Or go down Moses, way down in Egypt land, tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. Because they were not allowed to have Bibles or to read. Another purpose of Negro spirituals was to send coded messages. So the Negro slaves felt a certain kinship to the Hebrew slaves of old. And so for them, the Ohio River was transformed into Jordan, and anywhere north of that became the Promised Land. So now you have songs with lyrics like, "Get away, Jordan, I want to cross over to see my Lord." Or, "Wade in the water, God's going to trouble the water." Supposedly taken from John 5:4, talking about Jesus in the pool of Bethesda, but is actually telling slaves to walk in the water to hide their scent from the slave dogs. And then you have those spirituals like, "Sometimes I feel like a motherless child a long way from home," or, "I want Jesus to walk with me in my sorrows, Lord, walk with me all along life's pilgrim journey. I want Jesus to walk with me." And these were laments and prayers and plaintive pleas, just crying out to God to deliver them out of their bondage. Tonight we will hear many settings of these, as well as modern day artists putting their own soul into their art. Thank you.
Hi everyone. My name is Shekinah Bennett, and my piece is called "Another One Bites the Dust." Another one bites the dust. We hear stories of dust returning to dust before the clouds open up and the Lord descends, hoping that dust collects in the resurrection. I've lost more dust to cuffs sweeping through my community, looking to blow dust into the wind, choking the throats of the black mothers who have to clean up when the dust settles. We are all formed from dust, but to them, we're more like dirt because we're darker. And they can't see the light in the shade, that's why they roll up wearing dark shades, because the light is in us. They speak not according to this word because there is no light in them. They'll never face the opposition that we face because their faces have less melanin. They hide under white sheets in attempts to reflect the light while rejecting the light, claiming to light the way, but cut. See, I used to think this skin was a curse. I used to think this color was a stain, cursed to claim the evidence of my ancestors' shame. I used to wish that mothers would carry the dominant gene for skin color, because at least then I'd be a little lighter. I used to think, so you can give me shortness and blindness, but you couldn't give me light skin? But I digress, because in my few years I've realized that society put me in a war against myself, poisoning my mind to think that my kind was powerless. But I have seen the light. See, we were placed in chains for fear that our beauty and brains would outshine a whitewashed majority, scared of a minority. We've been touched by the light, that's why our melanin shines bright. We are destined for greatness and should never settle for anything less simply for the fact that we are black. And that fact alone makes us stronger. Add an education to the equation and you've got a higher percentage of the world's population in fear of black domination, so they keep us divided and they scatter us like dust. But to them, we're more like dirt because we're darker. And they can't see the light in the shade, that's why they roll up in dark shades, aim, and fire for nothing more than a simple gaze. I fear the days that I may hear that my brother lays in a grave because he gazed into those dark shades. I'm scared that I may hear that my father served this country for 10 years only to have dark shades be the reason he's no longer here. I fear the sound of my mother's tears. And that fear isn't going to end until the clouds open up and the Lord descends to avenge our dust in the resurrection. But until then, we can't stand idly by while this nation subjects us to a life of flower arrangements and funeral homes. Then again, what do I know? I'm just a black girl bothered by the oppression of her people, but this poem's probably going to end up like every other Black Power piece, balled up in the back of your mind, only brought out when a black girl wants to impress a crowd with their highfalutin word flow. So, in case you forget everything else, try to remember this. This fight is not for the faint of heart. If you're afraid of cuffs and cops and getting shot on the spot, then this might not be for you. But if you're truly ready for a change to come, then that change just might be you. Thank you.
Haven't we grown tired? Backs breaking from the crack of the whip, hands bound by a never-ending chain, feet stumbling towards the promised land we'll never reach, minds weakened by their efforts and ideals, knees forced to kneel for men that do not look like our king, and every rebel eventually gets struck down. We possess the blood of royals, and yet we bend to the system of thieves and murderers. Where is our Savior? Haven't we grown weary? Haven't we grown weary of waiting, complaining, hoping that our oppressors release us from bondage? Surely I'm tired of fighting and protesting, arguing our worth, clawing our way to even stand near the table, trying to prove our capability only for our credibility to be the next in question. Surely I'm tired of the tears of my ancestors aching through my bones, hearing their whispers every day, heeding me to do right by them. We don't walk for the journey, we walk for the destination. We run from the shadow man to fly for the weak, and we await in agony to hear the good Lord say, "Well done." Only then may we rejoice. My feet is tired, but my soul is rested.
prototype. Okay, so it's 2 a.m. and I'm mad again. Well, no. Granny says dogs go mad, people get angry. So let me rephrase that previous statement and tell you that I'm actually sitting here at 2 a.m. angry again. I'm ready to accept that I am the angry black friend, but right now you represent my enemy. I mean, how can you look at me and say that black is not what you see? The basis of my culture, the foundation of my identity, how can you say it's just a color that doesn't mean anything? My knowledge, arts, and my beliefs, my present and my history are all bundled up in this aspect of me that your so-called colorblindness prevents you from seeing. Judge me, not by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character. Acknowledge me. Pay close attention here, I promise you they're different. Acknowledge me for the pain and the struggle of my people, for the violent oppression that they've been through. Recognize me as a descendant of the kings and queens of the motherland, kidnapped in the night. Yeah, we know it wasn't you, but it is the reason that you're able to claim that white privilege that you have. Open your eyes and see me. Product of that rape and torture they endured, all these things you dismiss with your words. Look and see my reality. How in the stealing of my people, my identity was misplaced. I got lost in the shuffle, my roots disassembled, sprayed with pesticides so that I can't know where my ancestors used to reside. See, that title, black, was made for me. A safe haven to turn that loss into individuality that lays the foundation for my personality. And now you even want to take that away from me? Then muster up the absolute audacity to look at me like I'm wrong when I say black people really can't have anything.
Come on.
I don't see you as being black. Well, now tell me, why is that? What am I doing wrong that you're not seeing the facts, and what I need to do better to get your understanding back on track? I know. You want to elevate yourself with all that righteous reasoning. Everyone knows black is just a color that don't really mean anything, but you see people for who they really are, only the truest content of their purest identity. You so socially woke, you only see one race, and that's that of the human being. Or maybe you got that third eye open, like, what does race even have to do with anything? Like, racism and slavery are totally over. Forcing labels seems so demeaning.
Yes, ma'am.
But ask someone who's really lived it. That title, black, is more than just a pigment in the backstory we tell with it. It's the creation of identity even when bits and pieces of the history have gone missing. It is power in and of itself, and that's why you keep trying to take it from me, because black power is threatening to the constructs of white society. The fact that my blackness creates a sense of unity, our black art, black poetry, black movements, and black history, black past, present, future, our black reality. Yeah, that same black that you claim you can't see is the very same black that is my entirety. So now, seriously, do me a favor, because right about now I kind of feel like you owe it to me. Look again. Look at me again. It's quite simple, really. If it's not a young black queen that you see, then I can promise you ain't really seen me. Thank you.
We are a different generation. But Jimmy is ready to gather his crows to feed off another victim today. It's funny that they can't seem to recognize anything other than black and white, but are intent on destroying our flesh one way or another. We know our rights now. Regurgitating them anytime we feel threatened by a blue-collar civilian with a white-collar defense mechanism ready to paint the sidewalks red with 20 silver bullets wrapped around your neck like a modern-day noose. Leaving our families, hanging on the memory of one man who was halfway there to promote minimum stereotype, this is America. We spend so much time overcorrecting our rite of passage that we too forget that they have privilege. Better watch who you're talking to, boy, or else they'll hit you with the right to resist arrest when asked too many questions. Leaving you oozing after they hit you with that Uzi, you're clenching to your chest, begging for your last breath not to be your last breath. You're fighting for your life. It's modern-day genocide. Yet they'll file away the evidence and convince the world that it was suicide because they conquer better when we're divided. Segregated by our shades of melanin, massa has tricked us into slaughtering each other as if we didn't all come from the same plantation. Still slaves, shackled by the name brands, the liquor stores, the get-rich-quick schemes that make a black man feel like he's entitled in a white man's corporate society. We all have an agenda. One that makes us march like our ancestors, but with little reasoning behind it. Our Black Lives Matter has become a way for most of us to feel relevant among those that were found innocent by association and treated as guilty. When Machiavelli couldn't have painted a more notorious picture with Biggie, what would have happened had they had enough common sense to drop their flags and dismiss the charges of oppression looking for vengeance? This is America, where we stand like Martin, but won't be provoked without consequence like Malcolm X. We negate the power that's attached to a badge that black men just so happen to see more than refugees see bullets in Baghdad, so maybe we can hand over the credentials peacefully. Respect that there's mutual feeling that this encounter could be the last to prevent us from going home to our families. Put down our weapons of pride and hostility. Lift every voice again, singing as one nation, begging to be free. Standing for justice, especially pertaining to equality. But unfortunately, this is America, where a black man can't help but to try to live in a white man's harmony. Take warning to this message. If we do not change soon, another ethnic cleansing could be upon us, and the next victim might be you.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do at this point does not really matter because your skin color has already confessed to the crime. You have the right to an attorney who will try his hardest to see that justice is served, but a jury of your peers, aka our attorneys, will have him outmatched 12-1. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to you free of charge because he is also on our payroll. Do you understand these rights as they have been read to you? Whoa, 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 don't move. I see you reaching for your 9mm wallet. I see you reaching for your 38 caliber inhaler. Whoa, I said don't move. Stop breathing. You're puffing up your chest. I feel threatened. Stop resisting arrest. Is that a weapon? Lay down. No, 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 face down. No, 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 face ground. Bang, pow. Oops, I did it again. I'm a pop star. No, I'm a pop star. No, I'm a cop star. No, by the time I get back to the precinct, I will be a rock star. Platform. I have more trophies with black names on them than BET award winners. Platform. They are going to honor me at the NYPD award dinner. Platform. They are probably going to throw me a parade. Platform. Because when I clap for them, they go to the grave. Black boys' cries fall on deaf white ears. Black mothers' tears keep graveyard grass green. And black men's bones are the gavel with which judges finalize false convictions. Wake up, black boys, because it's time to declare war. I wonder how Trayvon Martin's mother feels, knowing that her son is a household name, but he is no longer a household body. I wonder, when Tamir Rice died playing cops and robbers, if he still saw the former more innocent than the latter. I wonder, when Freddie Gray's family can still say grace over their food, even though their prayers cannot stop the thief that robbed him of his last breath. I wonder if black women feel closer to God because they're steady having to lay to rest their only begotten sons. I wonder if black people's skin got darker because we're closer to the sun. How many years will it take us to get bulletproof skin because we're closer to the guns? I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of going to funerals where babies are being buried in boxes no bigger than the ones they put their toys in. I'm tired. I'm tired of not being able to say see you later to my friends. We're steady having to rehearse our last words to each other. I'm tired. I'm tired of not being able to tell my fiance, let's wait until we're married. I'm scared that she will walk down the aisle and see me in a box before she sees me in a tuxedo. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I wonder if America will be alarmed when she sees that black folk ain't sleeping no more. I'm tired because I'm living in a society whose laws are written as lullabies to black people when the American dream is the African American nightmare. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. We tired because we forced to stay woke. And if we finally go to sleep, we might stay asleep forever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. A long way from Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. A long way from home. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey there. Good evening.
My father's half asleep in the living room, watching CNN, the remote in right hand. My brother's probably downstairs watching wrestling or on Facebook, as usual. And my mother's in the kitchen probably making girinki or gunza with a side of plantains, and I'm lost in my room, lost in my own world, so lost that I can't even get up to help her. Then suddenly, Adrien, ngage! My mother yells to me in our native tongue, and memories start to rummage through time in my mind of places that I've never been. It must be the sweat of my ancestors or the thoughts of my past relatives. Africa, the motherland which runs through my veins, the beat of my heart, my DNA, the very essence of my being. I am nothing but a channel of water flowing into a river, connected to an ocean of souls that know nothing but endurance and truth. I am Africa. I am but a mere vessel, a drop in the ocean. Africa, the land of toil and grace, hurt and faith. Africa, I am. Thank
Can you imagine a black girl double dutching in the summer heat, jumping rhythmically to other black girls singing well-known tunes? This black girl is light-footed, feet flirting with the ground, never staying long enough to make conversation. As she jumps, she twists and turns ever so gracefully like a black swan. She is hypnotic, the center of attention. This black girl is in her element. Black women were never supposed to be much. They were never supposed to be more than baby makers, sexual providers, maids, slaves. Black girl, once majestic, now taking advantage of those by those who don't know her work. Black girl, just a body for the white man. Black girl, just a housekeeper for the white woman. Black girl, just a mother to white babies. But one day, black girl had had enough. You see, today, black girl got time. Black girl a fighter. Black girl a revolutionary. Black girl jumps over state lines that can leave her life hanging by a limb. Far too often, black girls are forced to keep attitudes buried like underground railroads just to stay on track with her counterparts. Counterparts whose train of thought is how to exploit black girls instead of lift black girl. You see, black girl is second-class citizen. Bottom of the food chain, but does most of the heavy lifting. Black girl has developed the strongest backbone known to man. Black girl is bold. Black girl is beautiful. Black girl is royalty, but black girl is second-class citizen. Black girl sexuality is worshipped more than black girl herself. Black girl's culture is trendy, but black girl is not. Black girl's place in society is more confused than her curl pattern. Can you imagine a black girl double dutching in the summer heats, jumping rhythmically to other black girls singing well-known tunes? This black girl is light-footed, like her ancestors and those before her. For if her feet touch the ground too long, the ropes might catch her either around the back or around the neck, and no one's gonna hold the black girl's back when she needs to feel uplifted.
Come on.
Can you imagine a black girl double dutching in the summer heats, jumping rhythmically to other black girls singing well-known tunes? This black girl is light-footed.
Again, thank you all so much for coming tonight. We've heard many examples of art with purpose. The Negro slaves of old poured their heart and soul into one of the few forms of art that they were allowed to keep. These modern day poets put their heart and soul into this art to also help us get us through tough times.
Yes, sir.
And speaking of purpose, I believe we have one as well. Through slavery, Jim Crow, Reconstruction, the Civil War, through modern day shootings of African Americans, Donald Trump, we're still here. We're still creating art. We are still pushing and striving for a better tomorrow. And so I believe we have a purpose as well. Now, to leave you with the words of the late, great Martin Luther King, I don't really know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop.
Yes, sir.
And I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain, and I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we, as a people, will get to the promised land. And so I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. A thank you to all those who made this night possible. Specifically Chad, who has worked wonders with the flyer, with his voice, with the programs, the organization, the writing. This could not have happened without you. To my Art and Soul fam, thank y'all for coming in clutch.
No problem.
Welcome.
To Dr. Brandon Gamble and my friend Benjamin Miller for coming through with the audio-visual recording capabilities at the last possible second. Thank you. And lastly, thank you all for coming. It's all for you guys. Thank you.
Can we just give everyone like a round of applause again? Because I'm just speechless. Like Malik said, it's just such a blessing that God gave us like the gift of music, because it doesn't matter like what time, what age, what century. It seems like music and like poetry and art just carries all those messages and all those different just songs and the culture and everything till this present day, and it makes us able to relate to those who are in the past and those of now as well. So if you guys just don't mind just joining me for a closing prayer again, just to thank God for everything, for his art, for the music, and just for us being here and the resilience that us Black people have. Bow your heads and close your eyes with me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for just providing us with the intellect, the beauty, the diversity, just so many different spiritual gifts that we've seen here today, Lord, and that you've given to our ancestors as well. Lord, we just are so grateful for the resilience that you give to those of the African diaspora, Lord. You know, there's many of us represented here. We're thankful for the strength you've given us as a people as well, and the hope to aspire to go to heaven and just for a brighter future. And we're just so grateful for everything you've done. Keep blessing those who performed, Lord, and keep blessing those who might be thinking of sharing their talents with us as well. Thank you for everything you've done. Help us to get back home safely tonight. In your name we pray. Amen.
Go tell Kevin he's in it.
Amen. It's been on silence. I don't need a